Hello and welcome to the Awesome 180 channel. I'm Ashton Doctor, your habit coach. And today we're going to be talking about a very controversial topic. I keep getting these questions asked a lot and I just try and tiptoe around them, try not to answer them, because honestly, it is a difficult subject matter for us to understand. We're going to be talking about fats and oils. And whenever I say the word fat, the first thought that everyone thinks about is their stomach growing out, them becoming fat here. Not realizing that fat is such an important and essential part of the human body. Our brain is made up of fat. Our cell walls are made up of fat. Our nervous system is made up of fat. So every time you go on this low-fat diet, what happens is that our body doesn't get the nourishment it requires. More importantly, what has happened is that the kind of fat that we're getting, or the kinds of oils that we're getting nowadays, are not what the human body recognizes or can use or can accept as part of its body. So let's break it down. Right now, if I ask you or say the word fats or oils, what are the thoughts that come to your mind? Deep frying, cholesterol, heart attacks, cardiovascular problems. These are the thoughts that immediately come flooding to our minds. Then when you go to buy an oil, it's just a plethora of choices. You have hydrogenated oils, saturated oils, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. It is so confusing. There are just too many choices and nobody guiding us. You see, when I started down this road, I was saying, what are the best possible choices or oils that I can suggest? And there are a few considerations that came to mind. See, the most important thing for us to understand is that the oils that we're getting and we're being sold, most of them are what I call processed oils. That means that they've gone through a chemical process that has changed the nature of the oil, so they're not necessarily in the natural form they would have been found in. So let me try and break it down for you as much as I can, as easily as possible. Olive oil is my favorite example for this. So when you take your olive and you give it a good squeeze, you get what is the first flush of oil called, which is called extra virgin olive oil, right? That's the purest form of olive oil that you can get in the market now. Then after that has been removed, you squeeze it a little more, a little harder, and what you get is virgin olive oil. After that, there is no more squeezing that will bring out any more of these oils. So what you do is you pass them through a chemical process that extracts more of these oils out, and that is what they call olive oil pomace. Now, pomace is the stuff that is technically supposed to be used in soaps and candles, etc., but we consume it. So pomace is the variety that we should not be using. Similarly, there are other seeds and nuts that cannot just be squeezed to get the oil out. They have to go through a chemical process. And after that, these oils are so unstable that you have to chemically add a hydrogen molecule to it to just stabilize it. And that's what we call hydrogenated oils. So the hydrogenated oils are by far the most processed and the ones that we should stay away from as far as possible. So when we think about oils, there are three things that I want you to keep in mind. The first is how processed are the oils that we're having. So the least amount of processing or the most natural formats of processing, the better. The second point to keep in mind is that when you're cooking with an oil, at what point does it start smoking? So when you start seeing that little black smoke on the top, the natural oil starts smoking far faster. So you can't do deep frying in them, or you can't cook things at a high temperature in them. And more importantly, you should not, because every time you do a deep fry, or every time you cook at a high temperature, you're actually killing the food that you're using. And what you're doing is you're oxygenating the oil. This oxygenated oil is bad for our body. And the last thing to keep in mind is that not all natural oils are good for us. There are some oils that we've been using for years, but are actually inflammatory in nature. And science is just showing that how they can actually cause problems for our human body. Finally, I know all this is confusing. So what I have is I've broken it down into 4 oils that you can buy and start consuming. Okay, these are olive oil. So buy extra virgin olive oil. Try to use this as raw as possible. So on top of salads, drizzle it on top of eggs, start getting used to the flavor because it has a lovely flavor profile. The second is virgin coconut oil. So this is coconut oil that has not been heated, it has been squeezed out. It does not have that pungent coconut flavor. It is actually quite mellow and very tasty to use. The next is ghee, right? Clarified butter. We've all been using ghee for years in India, and it's again becoming popular. Ghee is fantastic for you. And finally, butter itself. These four are great options and you can cook almost all your dishes with them. Try not to deep fry at all because anyways, that is bad for you. So your habit coach pro tip is that, remember we were talking about oxidizing oils? The best way to keep all these natural oils safe and good for you is to keep them away from the sun, or keep them in opaque bottles or in those green glass bottles. Don't buy oils that are in transparent bottles because the sunlight actually oxidizes the oils and makes them worse for you. So your habit for the week is to go out and buy a good quality extra virgin olive oil, a good quality coconut oil, buy some nice desi cow ghee and butter. Start cooking with these, trying to figure out which of these can go well with the dishes that you make at home, which food will taste good with these kind of fats. I know this is a very misunderstood topic, difficult to understand, and I hope that I've simplified it for you. Remember, you might not be the one cooking at home, but you are the one eating. So why don't you share this video with the person who does cook at home? Because it's important for us to get rid of these misconceptions around fats and actually start making good choices. If you like this video, remember to hit like, subscribe, and click on that small bell icon next to subscribe. I am Ashton Doctor, your habit coach, and remember, awesome lives start with awesome habits.